Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome to a special episode of Turtles Love Pizza, where we're actually not talking about turtles
Or pizza.
or pizza, but we're actually doing something a little special. It's more of a tribute episode to two fallen heroes of ours growing up, and although they did not voice or perform as the turtles, their respective franchises have crossed over. So in this case, we will be talking about the passing of both Kevin Conroy and
Jason David Frank.
now. Before we begin, Andrew, do you mind just breaking down your history with both heroes or both character actors?
So for me, obviously, with Kevin Conroy, it was Batman the Animated Series. It came out like 1992,
Yeah,
I believe. So I was still a kid in elementary school, and it was really like for me. I grew up watching Adam West's Batman, the live action one,
yeah,
and it was so campy. But then when I watched Batman the Animated Series, I was like, this is an amazing Batman.
yeah,
Like he was so good. The voice was so good, um, and even like switching between his Bruce Wayne and his Batman was awesome, right? Because
yeah,
like you could still tell it was his voice, but there's like these subtle differences, and you could tell like he really was just such a craftsman when it comes to like voice actor work.
yeah.
And yeah, I love Batman the animated series, and then when they did Justice League, and I was glad that he continued on with the Batman voice. In the Arkham Asylum series, I was glad that he did, the voice for that a little bit. When he came back for, I think, the Killing Joke, right? Didn't he come back for the
Yeah, he
Killing Joke?
did.
He did, right? That was
Yeah,
I was happy to see that, even though the Killing Joke animated movie wasn't as good as I wanted it to be. It's still great to have him back. And then
agreed.
obviously when he came back or when he came into the CW Arrowverse as Batman, that was like an epic thing, right? He was like an old kind of like
Like
Batman Beyond
Kingdom.
Batman.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So yeah, he's just always been Batman, right? So by his voice, and then finally physically as a Batman character playing Batman, it's been a wild ride. And then obviously one year for Christmas, I reached out to him on Cameo, and I got you a cameo voice from him, and I just told him like, hey, like my friend Steven needs some encouragement. I also told him to throw in, I think, the "I am vengeance, I am the night" kind of line,
Yes.
like from Batman
Yeah.
the Animated, because I was like, that was like one of my favorite quotes, right? When
Yeah.
he says that, like, he just says it so epically, right? So
Yeah.
yeah, definitely. So I'm glad that he was able to make that video for you, and you kind of have that. Um,
Forever.
yeah, and then with Jason David Frank, he was the Green Ranger. I remember watching Green with Evil. I think that's the like 3 or 4 part series in Power Rangers where he gets introduced, and I
Yep.
thought he was like the coolest character.
Yeah,
Like
me
he had his
too.
long hair. He was like the antithesis of Jason, like completely, right? And like he
Yeah.
could fight. He could totally fight, and it was just awesome seeing him. And then it was sad when he left, like he lost his Green Ranger powers. I was like, no, right? And then they come
Right.
back and bring him back with the White Ranger, and he goes on to be like the Zeo Red Ranger, and then, oh no, sorry, Turbo Ranger, and then the Zeo Ranger, and I think the Zeo Red series is pretty good, or the Zero series is pretty good for me. And
Yeah.
then they like did In Space, and he was done with that. But really, like it was really cool. And then he came back for as the Black Brachio Ranger, or Black and Gold Ranger, later on, and then he
Yeah.
still did cameos for Power Rangers on the reunion episodes, and he created his own kind of spin-off series, and did Lord Dracon in the comic book and
Yeah.
modeled it after him.
Yeah.
And he actually like did Lord Dracon, like dressed up as him for some promo material for like the Power Ranger games
Yeah. Yeah. I
that
remember
he
that.
did. So I mean, he has just been so tied to Power Rangers. Even living in Texas, like he lived here in Texas, and he was always at the cons, small ones,
Yeah.
big ones. He was always there. He always felt like he would be there, and he always brought like a really happy, positive energy to him. Like he was just that guy. He was like the annoyingly happy guy that you would,
Really?
yeah. But
So
he was always like that. He was always willing to talk to fans, do whatever.
so you actually saw him live, like in person
Yeah,
before?
I saw him a few times at different cons. I have a picture with him.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Oh, you should that's pretty dope. That's pretty
yeah.
awesome.
But he was
Um
really just like the happiest, nicest guy.
yeah.
So
So yeah, it's crazy that like two of our heroes growing up, because for me it's the exact same thing. You know, I grew up watching Batman, and when you think about Batman the animated series and you think about the way he voices Batman, you kind of wish like some of these live action actors would go in that route, because like he didn't go raspy. You realize that, right?
yeah, he did not do the Christian Bale.
Yeah, or the Robert Pattinson. He was more in the line of like a Michael Keaton, but like a harsher voice, like a deeper voice, and more distinct between his Batman and his Bruce Wayne.
Yeah, he was a lot more menacing. There was like
Yeah,
an
it
element
was
of
super
danger.
low. It was
Yeah,
like, yeah, I loved it, and I was always so confused, like why don't these live action actors just try this? Because you could still get your rage out in the same fashion. You know what I mean? And then on top of that, just like, I don't know if you know this, but he went. I believe he went to college with Christopher Reeves and was his roommate.
oh really?
Yeah,
That's
back in
awesome.
the day. I think they both went to Juilliard, and if they weren't roommates, they were really close friends. And I think that's pretty crazy, because the way both their careers went, you know, it's kind of interesting, because one became Superman and one became Batman. Wait, what? Let me check something real. Oh, wait, my bad. He roomed with Robin Williams.
Oh, Robin Williams, cool.
Yeah, but I remember he something was mentioned with him and Christopher Reeves. Maybe I'm thinking of someone else. But okay. So
He's
anyways,
he was in the same group with Kelsey Grammer.
yeah. But I think the fact that he was with Robin Williams, that's pretty crazy too.
Yeah,
I think that's really interesting, you know. And on top of that, like he was a very good stage performer. Like he did a lot of plays and such, and he also came out gay as the first gay Batman. So I think that's very interesting too, because you know not a lot of people, like he was never really that public, and when you're young you don't really care, and it's not that important really. But I you know I think it's really cool, and he wrote a comic book about coming out, and just like him finding the character of Batman. So he wrote like this Batman story. So I think that's really cool. As for Jason David Frank, same thing, Power Rangers, but I'm not like you. I didn't go through all the other series. I stay with the main series, and I think I ended with the Turbo. You remember they had the Turbo movie?
yeah, the movie.
I stopped with that. I didn't watch that movie. But yeah, I really thought Jason David Frank was super super cool, and you're absolutely right. It was his sexy hair, and he got the babes. Like he got Kimberly. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So I really felt bad for uh the Red Ranger. I believe his name is Austin, but yeah, his character's name was Jason. So I really felt bad for him, because Tommy, played by Jason David Frank, was just so cool. I think he
he was.
just superseded him as a character. But yeah, so yeah, we wanted to do a really quick episode just saying how much we really appreciated these two performers and how much they will be missed. They're definitely a huge part of our childhood, like adolescence, or I think we were both in elementary school and high school when these series were coming out, all the episodes were coming out. Did you ever like did you ever try to like skip any, or did you have any after school activities?
No,
Okay, so were you able to watch all these episodes?
no, because I went to like after school care, so
Oh yeah.
obviously TV. So I
Yeah.
remember watching them like on Saturdays, things like that.
Oh. Dude, number one reason I hate Chinese school is because it was on Saturdays and I could not watch the animated series. I was so mad. As for Power Rangers, it was, I think the lineup was Batman and then Power Rangers, because at the time Batman was under Fox,
Yeah,
like the animated series, and
Fox Kids.
right,
Yeah, Fox
and and,
Kids.
and then what was, I almost feel like Power Rangers was either on the same network or it was on Fox or something like that.
It was also on Fox Kids.
Oh, right. So I
Yeah.
think they were back to back. One was before the other, and there were some days I had Taekwondo, and I was like, "Oh man, I really want to skip today." But yeah, okay. So next up, why don't we talk about like our favorite episodes really quick? Let's do Batman animated series, and you can kind of mix like the movies in if you want as well, because he did do a couple movies as you mentioned earlier.
Yeah. I think one of the ones that really stays out to me was the Gray Ghost episode.
I was just about to mention that. Yeah, go.
Yeah, because I thought that was so cool that like he like had his own superhero that he looked up to,
Yeah.
and that was Adam West's voice, right?
Yes, it
Yeah,
was.
Adam West was in there too, so it's like a complete classic Batman animated series episode.
Yeah, completely agree.
So
And
yeah, and then
then
the
yeah.
Red Claw one, because for some reason I always watched that one. Like it was always on TV.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. It
But
was also because they had that sexy lady.
yeah, Catwoman was in it too. So, but it
Yeah.
was weird because I always saw part one. Like it took forever for me to ever see part two.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, it was always part one that I saw of the Red Claw.
Yeah. And that one was interesting because that one introduced the idea that Alfred was like an actual secret agent.
Yeah,
So I thought that was really cool. Okay, why don't you do one more?
one more Batman animated series.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Well,
Um,
I mean, he did Batman Beyond and Justice League. You
oh yeah,
can,
Batman Beyond. What was a good
yeah,
Batman Beyond one? Batman Beyond was just great in general.
yeah. I
I
recently did, huh?
Huh? Yeah. What?
No, I recently did a rewatch with my wife.
Oh, you
So
did? What'd she
yeah,
think of it?
no, she liked it. It was really fun because she never saw it. She's a little younger than us.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
But
But
yeah.
yeah, let's see, Batman Beyond. I really liked all the episodes with like the card gang.
Oh, okay, okay. The Royal Flush Gang.
The Royal Flush Gang.
Oh, cause
'Cause, like,
Ace.
yeah, Ace. Ace was the
Yeah,
girl, right?
yeah, yeah, yeah. And they had that love. They had that little love thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
with Terry McGinnis and her. So
Wait, what? I think it is Ace. I just don't remember what that big guy is called.
wasn't he 10?
Oh no, she's 10. The big guy
She's
is
10. He's
Ace.
Ace. Okay,
There we
very
go. There we go. Okay. All right. So for me, I'm gonna go with Mask of the Phantasm, which I think is the ultimate like Batman movie.
that's that low
There's
hanging fruit right there.
Yeah, I know that was the easy one to go for. You took Grey Ghost, but I definitely had that on my list. The first episode I remember watching is his Silicon Soul, where it was an episode where Hardak had created a replica of Batman, and then that replica goes crazy because he thinks he's Batman.
Oh yeah, that was a great episode.
Yeah, that one was really fun. And then, dude, I'm just gonna help you out. Batman: Return of the Joker, unrated. Batman Beyond
Oh
Return
yeah,
of the
that
Joker.
was a good one. That was also a really trippy one.
Dude, that one was so dark because of what Joker did to Tim Drake.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And so yeah. As for okay, let's jump to Jason David Frank.
Oh wait,
What
wait. One more thing about Batman Beyond.
yeah.
Did you ever watch Epilogue?
Yes, yeah.
That was such a good episode too.
It
To
it
kind of
was. Yeah.
end out Batman Beyond that way was really good because it had already been
Yeah.
canceled, and then they decided to finish it out on Justice League. So
Yeah, I thought that was really good. And it makes you think because when you look at the way Terry McGinnis was actually designed, and then you look at his parents, he doesn't look like any of them. They both have red hair.
yeah,
So it was like the whole time. And I'm wondering if the creators actually had like that whole idea in their minds leading up to that. You know
I'm
what I
sure they
mean?
did.
Yeah, because the fact that Terry McGinnis and his little brother Matt McGinnis have the same hairstyle that Bruce Wayne had in the first season of
Yeah.
Batman animated series, I'm like, this is weird. But yeah, let's jump into Jason David Frank's filmography, episodography, whatever you call it. But yeah, let's jump into his episodes because for me, honestly, the way I watched it was on and off. So I'm not as regular of a watcher of the Power Rangers as you were, but there were definitely episodes that I really enjoyed. And you mentioned one of them, and it was Green with Evil. It's actually a 5-part episode,
Yeah.
and dude, it's just an introduction of Tommy. And I remember watching the first episode recently again, and it's like him and Jason are sparring and fighting because I think it's like a Angel Grove karate competition in the cafeteria or something. And it's just so cool because like you get the first shot of him doing these 3 aerial spin kicks, and Jason is looking at Tommy, and everyone's like really nervous that this guy's gonna beat Jason. So I thought that was a really cool opening for his character.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But yeah, what about you? Because I
Um,
feel like you watched a lot more than I did.
yeah, because I liked it, and then my little brother coming up, he really was a big Power Ranger fan, so
Yeah.
I continued on watching just so that we would have to talk about.
Hmm.
And yeah, I had fun with it too. But I think the one episode I always remember is Gung Ho. It's
Okay.
see, Jason and Tommy have to like, I think they have to go find the what's it called, Titanus or something like that. Is that
Oh,
the one where they find Titanus?
that's
Uh,
like the long neck, right?
yeah, Titanus. Yeah, the motorized carrier Zord. That's what they always said in like the TV commercial.
Oh wow.
Um, but yeah, so like they have to like work together as a team, but they're like not a good team apparently, and like Trini tells them to like gung ho and like just get it together, and this is where Tommy gives his gold shield to Jason to help him
Uh-huh.
finish their task. So it was like the coolest thing ever to like see him be able to transfer that like golden shield that he always has on
On
to
his
Jason.
chest?
Yeah, you know the little triangle thing he has.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so he gives it over to Jason temporarily.
Okay, hold on. Are you sure it's called Gung Ho? Because now I really want to watch it.
Yeah, it's gung ho. I have the Ranger wiki on up.
Okay, I have Wikipedia on too. I just found it. Episode 26.
Yeah, so it was a really cool episode.
Okay, I definitely have to watch this, man, because I
And
remember the Titanosaur where every one of the Power Rangers can lock on, and I think they create like an Ultra Megazord or something.
yeah, the Ultra Zord.
Oh my god! Oh, gotta freaking a! And don't get me started about the freaking Dragon Zord. Do, 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 do,
Yeah,
do, like the
and then
flow.
the other episode that I was thinking about is Island of Illusion. It's like a two-parter.
Okay, what's that one about?
They get Rita sends to some island where like all these monsters they defeated in the past are there, and but they're illusions. And there's like this little person on the island as well.
Hmm.
but I just remember it because I recorded it on like a tape player, right? And I would listen to it like falling asleep at night, just like the recording, like the audio of it,
Why?
because I didn't have a VCR, so I could never like record them. Well, I had a VCR, but I didn't have any tapes to like record the video.
Uh-huh.
So all I had was like a tape recorder, so I would record the audio of it and I would listen to it, and then just like in my head, I would just like play back the visuals in my head.
Wow, that okay, for all of you people that don't know what's going on, back in the day there was no DVR. Like you had to have a high-tech VCR that can set up a timer that can time it at the exact time, and you had to have empty video cassettes to record it at the same time. So dude, we had it hard. There there was no streaming, no nothing, cuz nowadays I think the whole Power Rangers series is on Netflix.
Yeah, you can just go on Netflix, watch it, no commercials. Don't have to worry about like weird like rewinding videos, things like that.
Yeah. Oh my god, such good times. And you know what? These are two actors that made um two like multiple children, like thousands, hundreds of thousands of children
I would say
happy.
millions, millions of
Millions of children, yeah.
around the world.
Maybe billions, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but
But
now,
like
yeah,
these guys have such a legacy, and I believe they treated it with such respect because the fact that like Kevin Conroy would do a cameo and would go to so many conventions and really just do the voice, and you never heard anything about him being a bad dude or getting caught up in some bad things like for either of these guys. And you just heard that these guys were solid dudes that loved the work and loved their fans, you know what I mean?
yeah, definitely. So yeah,
So we just wanted to say, thank you guys for thank you Kevin Conroy, thank you Jason David Frank, for all that you did for the fandom, and much respect to you both. And you really open the eyes of children all around the world to these fascinating characters that you bled life into. And what about you? You want to
what
add
about you?
anything to that?
No, I think that was great. I mean, yeah, it's been a hard year. We've been losing a lot of people that we watched growing up,
Yeah,
and especially for it happened pretty close to each other too.
yeah, like
Both they
almost a
passed
week
away.
apart.
Yeah,
Yeah. And so yeah, everyone that's listening, thank you all for tuning in to this really quick, really special episode. Hopefully we don't have to do this that often, but I we both thought it was important to talk about these two guys specifically.
yeah, and especially since we couldn't talk about Stanley when he passed away all those
Oh
years
yeah,
ago.
because we hadn't started.
Yeah, but
Um
Stanley was another great person to meet in person. He was
oh
like the nicest guy ever.
You know what? Like, I have nothing against Stan Lee other than the fact that he created the competitor to DC Comics. No, I'm just kidding. But you know what I love about Stan Lee, and I think he passed like 2, 3 years ago, right?
Something like that.
Maybe a little more. But what I really loved about him is the fact that like he created all these different characters. He definitely had co-creators and he had help. Okay, he didn't do everything by himself, um, but he helped create a lot of these characters. He helped bring specific voices to people that you know probably felt marginalized at the time, and at the same time, when you watch an MCU movie, this guy had a lot of joy in his heart, and I I think that's something that is commendable. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
Um
definitely.
yeah. What yeah, what else is there?
No, I think that's about it. I mean, Stanley was definitely one of those people I was glad I got to meet in person before he passed.
Well, tell the story. You have to.
Oh, okay. So, Comic Palooza here in Houston, he came. He was the big attraction, and my buddy was with me, and he was like, "Dude, we have to go see him." And we were both pretty broke back then, so we couldn't afford to like, pay for a picture with him or an
Yeah.
autograph or anything. But we just got in line to meet him, like,
Uh
and
huh.
he was totally fine with that. Like, there are other people that at conventions, like, if you don't have money, they don't want to talk to you.
Oh
Like,
wow.
yeah, just like I don't want to name names, but there's like one specific actor who literally put up like a curtain, so unless you paid money, you couldn't go behind the curtain and meet him and say hi. Like, some of them are great. Like, their table's open, they'll chat with you,
Yeah.
whatever. But like, there's certain actors that are really just high on themselves, and like, they won't even look at you unless you pay money, right?
Yeah.
Stanley was not like that. We waited in line for like an hour just to like meet him.
Yeah.
He wasn't shaking hands because he didn't want to get sick or anything. But he gave me a fist bump. He's like, "I'll do a fist bump." I said, "Okay." So I fist bumped him and said hi and just said thank you to him. And he's like, "I appreciate it." He's like, "I do this for y'all." So
Yeah.
yeah, he was he
Did
was really nice
Did he say Excelsior?
guy. Not to me, but I heard it say him while I was in line. So
Oh really?
yeah,
Oh man, that's great. That's I wish I had that opportunity too. That would be awesome. But yeah, hey, there are certain things that anyone should be willing to wait in line for. For example, we waited in line how long for Franklin's barbecue that one time?
hours, literally
Ow.
hours.
The fact that you just had to wait an hour for Stanley, that is actually pretty good. And you probably felt a high that is similar to getting on like a roller coaster ride. So
Pretty much.
yeah, so again, we want to thank, let's just say, three guys, these three gentlemen, and you will be remembered forever, especially to these two young folks that grew up watching you guys. So thank you guys for tuning in, and we'll be talking to you soon.
See ya.
All right, bye. This episode, because I just wanted to try it on my own, but I'm going to try to imitate Mr. Kevin Conroy and do a Batman voice. Okay, so normally, let's just talk about the Batman voice in general, right? So you have Michael Keaton, who is sort of raspy but whispery but very soft, right? So his Batman was probably more like, I'm no, that was not good. It's more like, I'm Batman. I'm Batman. Like very quick, I'm Batman, right? So like at the very beginning of the first movie, he's like holding up that thug, right? And he goes, I'm Batman. Okay, we'll stick with that. And it's not very good. We don't even have to talk about George Clooney. There's nothing to talk about in terms of the Batman voice. And I'd have to re-listen to Val Kilmer's, but it's also not very significant. But once you get to say Christian Bale, he pulls up that thug, right? Carmine Falcone, and he's like, I'm Batman. I'm Batman. Where were the other drugs going? Right? Just like very raspy. And then we get to Ben Affleck, which I think was an interesting take because, they had the whole recording device. Not recording device, but like a voice masker, so it kind of digitally altered it. So I don't have a digital alterer, so I'm not going to do that. And I would say Robert Pattinson's is very similar to Christian Bale's, just less throaty, but very whispery. So I'm not even gonna try that. I probably shouldn't have tried any of those. But in terms of Kevin Conroy's Batman, he went very deep, right? And I have to listen to myself do this later, because like in my head it's perfect, but I know it's gonna sound very terrible. But this is this is for Kevin Conroy, especially since Andrew had him do that cameo video for me, which I was thrilled with. Because again, I grew up with this guy's voice in my head as Batman. So every time I see Batman or I read the comic books, especially like any Batman by Sean Murphy, Tom King, and all these new arcs, even Scott Snyder's run uh, after the new, I mean, up until, when he wrote the new 52, uh, it was always, and it will always be Kevin Conroy's Batman. So it's deeper and darker. So it's like, I, I am vengeance. I am the night. I am Batman. It's like very, very deep and dark and guttural. And I am vengeance. I am the night. I am Batman. So it's just, I don't know. It's kind of fun to do. All right, well, thanks for joining, and hope to hope to talk to you guys soon in the next season of Turtles Love Pizza. All right, peace out, guys. Bye.